What's going on, everybody? We are back. I actually recently was at Con Nuga. I went to back-to-back cons. Actually, I went to Con Nuga 2 weeks ago, and then this past weekend, I was at Coastal Con in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I got to meet none other than Sam Witwer. That's for the nerds in the house. And if you don't know who Sam Witwer is, Sam actually was Darth Maul in the Solo movie and in all of Clone Wars. He's Starkiller in everything that Starkiller is in. So both of the Force Unleashed games, he does the voice work, the mocap. I mean, the character is actually, it is designed 100% after him and his likeness. He's even in the Star Wars game I play on my phone or whatever, and I told him that I play that, and he was like, "Oh man, that's good because I get royalties from that." Because it's like actually his likeness, you know.
I didn't know that he was Maul in the Solo movie.
Yeah. Because Ray Park is problematic. So so all through all the Clone Wars and in the Solo movie, he did Darth Maul. He also is a little more relevant to our typical subject matter. He was also Doomsday in Smallville. He was on season 8 of Smallville. And in typical CW fashion, their version of Doomsday was like, he was a normal dude, and then at night, like, he would, like, werewolf into Doomsday. Because they didn't have the CG to have Doomsday all the time, which is probably good, because there probably would have been, like, some long expositionary discussions where, like, Doomsday, like, laments about his kids or whatever, and
we don't really need that.
We don't need that. Yeah. But the week before, when I was at Con Nuga, I actually met an artist, Mr. Mark Atchley, and I got this beauty right here. I'll hold it up for the camera. He actually, I didn't know this, but the homie Joe got me one of his pieces a few years ago. I have some art from The Shield up on my wall, and it's Walton Goggins and Michael Chiklis. And come to find out, he actually went on set and did art for like all of them.
That's cool as hell.
And he's done artwork he has a Green Arrow that he did for Stephen Amell. He also has a Batman animated series that he did for Kevin Conroy. So we sat there for a while and talked about The Shield. We talked about, Kevin Conroy and like him passing and everything. Cause I got to meet him and we were talking about like how he was like such a nice guy and everything. And so that was cool. But he had so much art, man. He's got both of the brothers from Supernatural. And it's crazy. Like almost all of the pieces he had, he did for them. And this one right here, he actually, what's Jesse's, Aaron Paul?
Aaron Paul, yeah.
He actually did this piece for Aaron Paul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
that is just clean artwork.
Yeah, it's really good. I thought about letting you put it up in here, but this is going in my house. Sorry.
That's fair. Because that right there is that's gorgeous.
Yeah, you gotta put the Invincible up, man.
It's going up, man. It's going up
on a Tuesday. I just gotta wait. I just gotta wait for Tuesday.
Yeah, see, if you came yesterday, it would have been up.
It would have been up. Yeah.
This is the Wednesday we're recording this on. If you haven't figured that out.
Last time we were here, man, we talked about the James Gunn announcements that they rolled out with. So the way I see it, man, we've been blue balls in this for years. Let's get right into it.
The James Gunn announcement?
No. I'm talking about the thing.
Oh, okay, the thing. I was like, man, what do you know that I don't know?
No. I was like, we already talked about that. That's like the big news.
It is, man. It kind of seems like everything has been quiet, all for the release of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, man, I think you're right. I think we'll go ahead and get right into it. We will blue balls you no longer. So, homies one and all, welcome back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and tonight I'm here with the world's greatest co-host, the man who hates the WrestleMania 41 card, The homie Caleb.
You know, we should have just recorded it because we do this all the time. But we just sat in here and I just Jim Cornette watching AEW Dynamited about that's a long verb, about the entire WrestleMania 41 card. I hate it. And you can catch me talking about that shit on social media nowhere because I don't. It's just here in the confines of the studio with nobody listening. But no, I hate it for real. And I will also note, in regards to Daredevil Born Again, we have both seen the first 2 episodes. We have not spoken about it at all, other than the fact that we've watched it. We haven't given a thumbs up. We haven't been given a thumbs down. We haven't been like, oh man, can you believe this happened? So we have not spoken about it even a little bit because the objective here is we are going to cover this episode by episode so we don't miss anything. So we're covering the first 2 episodes of Born Again tonight. Next week, we're going to come right back here and cover episode 3 with you guys.
Absolutely. This is a show that has been 7 years in the making.
Yeah.
You know, that's how long it's been since we got season 3, which seems crazy that it's been that long.
I just watched back through it, like this past week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to kind of get ready for this. I didn't have time to do a full Defenders verse.
Yeah.
I also didn't have the gumption. I've suffered a lot over the last 18 months.
That would be a real roller coaster, man. Just go back through the whole Defenders verse because there's ups and downs.
There's a lot of ups and downs, yeah. But yeah, man, we have been waiting for this show for a long time. I'm really excited. We're probably going to be doing 2 a week for a while, guys. Well, we just got a lot to cover because we're going to do probably a 2-parter on Andor season 1. Season 2 is about to come out. And then we got to hit the second half of Invincible, all while we're covering Daredevil every single week. So,
and on top of that, we also, I forgot about this, but I think we should go ahead and throw in The Last of Us.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Have we not done that?
We haven't spoken about it. Yeah. And
when does season 2 come out? April?
I want to say it's around Andor season 2 release.
Oh my God. So back in the Entertainment Evolved days, I actually did cover every single episode of season 1. So I encourage you guys. It's still all that stuff's still out there. By all means, take a look. And I think you came on and did like an episode or 2 of that.
I did.
Me and the homie Kevin actually did the very first episode, or maybe the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was really cool. But yeah, that's some good content. Check that out. I know the homie Stanos was on a few of those. Had a great time. We need to figure out get him on sometime.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So
for shizzle.
All right, man. So let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's go ahead. With that being said, full spoilers for everything.
Yeah, I mean the entire MCU up to this point, the entire Defenders verse. I'll go out, although I guess that is now officially MCU canon. Shit. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So we're going to get right into this, man. I actually spoke to the homie Kevin just last night before the show came out.
Yeah.
And I promise to all of you homies, I will call Kevin up and have him recount the conversation. But we were talking about how hyped we were about this show. And I said, yeah, I don't know if you saw this or not, Kevin, but there were some real cryptic messages that Charlie Cox was putting out there. And I said, he could just be talking about things to generate more hype around the show like actors typically do. But he said something along the lines of he still can't really process what happens in episode 1. It's so shocking and surprising. And I said, man, Kevin, what do you think happens? And he goes, I don't know, man. Like he could just be doing the whole actor thing. And I said, wouldn't it be crazy if they killed Karen in episode 1? And I talked about how Karen, she's killed by Bullseye in the comic books, and that leads Matt down another one of those long, dark, lonely trails of his. And it really fucks with him for a while. And I said, man, what if they kill off Karen Page? And I said it half jokingly, but it's like, nah. I mean, they could, but it won't be in episode 1 if they do anything so drastic. And then Kevin said something along the lines of, yeah, so like I know Bullseye, he's in it. Like, what if they just fucking damn near kill each other? He said something along those lines. And I said, yeah, man, I mean, we know that he's in it, so yeah, I mean, it's plausible. I had no idea that we would be so cryptically accurate in our thoughts.
The crazy thing about it, right, is so two things. Number one, Marvel can still keep a secret. Apparently, this reveal, and by the way, guys, in case you didn't get it beforehand, we about to spoil the shit out of you. We like ruining the whole show level spoilers for you. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't get that first spoiler warning, you want to check out now. But all of the cast was just like sworn to immense secrecy about this. As a matter of fact, I was watching an interview earlier today where they're just asking some softball questions or whatever, and they're like, so how about them killing off Foggy Nelson in the first episode? And all of the people at the table were like, and Charlie Cox was like, we can talk about that, and the guy was like, yeah, like this is gonna come out after, like we can talk about it, and they were like, he was like, dude, my stomach just dropped with you even mentioning that, and then Vincent and D'Onofrio was like, yeah, like that's been like a we don't even talk about it offset, like it doesn't get discussed. It has been like this huge hush thing where like they don't even like text about it or anything. I guess they got Eldon Henson like locked in a fucking room somewhere. Because I haven't seen him at all.
Yeah, it's because he got shot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's playing hockey in heaven now. That's a Mighty Ducks joke.
Yeah. Some of you younger folk might not remember that one. It's a classic.
He was also in that Disney Plus version.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. I think that Charlie Cox said something in that same interview that really struck me, and he said there has to be a reason for us to make the show. Mm-hmm. Like, it can't just be people just want more Daredevil. Yep. Like, there had to be a reason for them to remake the show. And even furthermore, this can't be another, Matt just, like, it can't be another just, Matt doesn't want to do it. You know? Like, there had to be real stakes, and he said they had to be bold in the decisions they were making. I'm going to tell you, I was filled with immense dread until they showed Bullseye. And then it was worse, but, like, they're all having a good time, and they're happy. And I'm like, all right, we're going to get a scene change, and there's going to be somebody, like, running from a gang, or, like, some of Fist's people are going to, like, drown a motherfucker in the river or whatever, And then, like, the scene just didn't change, and it's just them everybody's having a good time. I was like, they got about 10 more seconds of them having a good time before, like, a nuke could just land on New York City, because Matt Murdock is not allowed to have a good time for this for this long. Like, Matt Murdock is not allowed to be happy for any amount of time.
Yeah, the universe frowns upon that.
Yeah. And the second that, we show him, like, that they came outside and, like, the phone's ringing, and they're, they show the paperclip kill the fly. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, no. Yep. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so, like, Bullseye's going to kill the dude at the apartment, like, right before Matt gets there, and, like, that's going to start the whole arc or whatever. And, like, Matt got there so fast, and he's in the suit. And I'm like, well, I mean, the Dex doesn't need long to kill you. I mean, he can kill you with literally anything in your house, He doesn't need long. Right. Like, oh, you got some papers laying here? All right, well, you're dead.
Yeah, is that a dirty diaper? Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then I was like, man, he suited up. He must have found a phone booth. He suited up so fast.
He got suited super fast. Well, I guess technically it was probably 3 minutes it took him, I imagine, because Foggy lived 5 minutes away. Yeah. And Benny, the guy who they were, I guess, lawyering for, was holed up in Foggy's place. Yeah. And so if it's a 5-minute transition, took Bullseye 5 seconds to interrogate Benny. Yeah. And 4 to get back down to Josie's. Yeah. Whereas Matt had to change, got to where Benny was, and turned around. Yeah, I mean, it had to be like, what, 2 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, maybe he, like, keeps most of the suit on under the lawyer shit.
I have seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could do that. I don't know what he does with the with the helmet.
Yeah. He's prison pocket.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Or the Billy Club. Or that's... Typically, sometimes it's his cane.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case here, though. But, you know, so, like, I'll be honest, man. I was much more oblivious than you were. I thought that we were going to ease on into this thing.
The moment that he got there and Bullseye wasn't there and Foggy and Karen were standing outside and, like, I don't know, man, there was just something about all of them they just kept laying it on how, like, relaxed and happy everybody was. And I was just like, Matt Murdock doesn't get this. He's not allowed. The fucking Beyonder or somebody is going to show up. You know what I mean?
For me, it was like seeing them all just celebrate and be happy together and all that was very jovial. And it reminded me of a few moments from the previous season of the Netflix Daredevil show.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, this guy, Benny, who they're protecting or whatever, Matt's going to go there and he's going to confront Bullseye, and then we're going to get our first big fight to kick the show off. And Bullseye's probably going to get away. Man.
You're kind of right.
I mean, if I throw you off this roof,
I'm away.
Technically, you are away. But no. So like, it was like when I noticed that, okay, Bullseye's not there, and then the only thing that Benny says back to Foggy is, "I'm sorry, I had to give him, I had to tell him where you guys were at," and that was it. And I was thinking, oh, so he's gonna attempt to maybe kill, you know, some of Matt's closest friends, or maybe even Matt. It still didn't sink in, man, until I saw fucking Foggy get shot.
Yeah, when they showed Dex with the rifle, I was like, he's about to kill one or both of them. I was like, both doesn't seem likely, because I feel like there was so much like drama offset about like, are they going to get them back? Because in the original show, they were going to just write those characters off.
Right.
And people wanted them back because they're very loved. And I was like, they're not going to kill them both. I was like, but I think one of them is going to die. And I was like, if it's Foggy, man, that's insane. And then you see the bullet come through. And I'm like, oh, my God. And the way that they shot this fight, I've seen some people that did not like it for the same reasons that you and I typically don't like an action scene, where it's like they do all the little tricks, like have them go behind the wall, and like there's some parts where the CG wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, you know, where they did some CG in there. But I actually didn't mind it at all in this fight, because the fight is not the centerpiece of what is actually happening here. The fight is cool, but it's as they're fighting, it's the transition where we keep going back and forth from the collateral damage that the fight is causing, plus then we go back to Karen and Foggy, and then we go back to Matt, who is trying to fight this motherfucker while he's literally hearing his friend's organs start to shut down. And he's hearing his heartbeat slow, and he knows that Foggy is out there bleeding out. And he has to keep fighting, knowing that. And, man, everything up to the point where he finally tosses Dex off the roof, I just thought that from in a dramatic sense, it was some of the best shot television.
I actually fully agree. When we started to get the fight scene, and like you, I had seen people online say things like they didn't like it because they didn't like the CG work or whatever the case may be, or they didn't think the choreography was as clean. I'm like, it may not be, like, don't get me wrong, their fight wasn't season 3 Bullseye versus Daredevil.
No.
But this is also a completely different thing.
And it didn't need to be.
It didn't need to be that either, right? So this is a completely different thing. This is their, as far as we know, their second time fighting each other.
Well, third.
Yeah, the third time fighting each other. And
because he just waxes that ass the first time.
Yeah. And unless there's a little bit of space, in which case, yeah. But yeah, I thought that they did the smart thing, which is what I always, yell at the TV screen for these filmmakers to do, which is, if you know your CG isn't up to par, obscure it in shadow.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And they did also, I think, a pretty good job of transitioning from like CG models to real people.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for like the go behind shots. So like they're fighting almost in the background, and then in the foreground, like the doors close, and then you see their silhouettes fighting, and then they go through the door.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm a sucker for stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And then and when they came through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that person that was like right there by the door got fucked.
Oh yeah. And fucking Bullseye, such an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's fucking offing people that have nothing to do with anything.
Like Matt don't even know them.
Yeah. Like the one lady, like, so there's two people on either side of the door that they go busting through. And Bullseye, he takes like a pool ball and chunks it at one lady, hits her right in the fucking head, and then picks up another one, and he throws it at the other lady, and for a split second, she's probably thinking, oh, thank God, I think he missed. And then it smacks her in the back of the head, and she collapses onto Matt.
Yeah.
And it's just, that wasn't necessary.
It was not.
Those were two objects you could have thrown at Daredevil, but you chose to throw them at the innocent people.
I think Dex went there knowing that Matt was going to beat him. Mm-hmm. I think he was just trying to cause the maximum amount of damage he could to Daredevil's life.
Yeah. And boy, he did a damn good job.
Jeez, man.
And like this fight, man, it goes on, and like Dex he's going up the stairs, and like they're both at this point just battle weary.
Yeah.
But Matt is just livid. Like he's fighting on pure hatred at this point.
Yeah.
And not Daredevil, but Bullseye, he's not speaking, but he's almost like, the fuck is wrong with this man?
Yeah. And he gets up on the roof. He's like, I think I gotta wait. He's like the last henchman that Batman fucks up
right.
at every crime scene. He's like, oh God, I think I gotta wait from him. And then you just like see the Billy Club and wrap around the pole, and you just kind of, and you're like, oh yeah, man.
Shit.
Did you see him throwing him off the roof coming?
No.
Yeah, so I kind of felt that too, man. Like when they got right on the edge and they were battling, or whatever, I was like, when Matt hears his heart stop beating, he's gonna throw this motherfucker off this roof. And he did, man. And that shit looked horrible. Like I know Bullseye lived through it because he's got like the implants and shit. But I don't think I want to live through that shit.
I don't want to face plant from 8 stories high.
Yeah, and then
live. Yeah, that shit was awful. And also, like, just, Matt was fighting like, I mean, hell, this is gonna be a pun. He was fighting like his dad, like a man possessed.
Yeah,
because he had shurikens sticking out of him.
And he didn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a damn.
Even when the fight was over, he was like, Cherry comes up top and he's like, Matt. And he's like, yeah, man. What you want, dog?
Yeah, come on. I just committed so many crimes, including attempted murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole opening scene was just wow. It really set the tone and set the pace for like things to come, because it was very intense.
Yeah.
And shocking, surprising. And in a million years, man, I would have never seen Foggy dying, especially not like this. I've never seen Matt Murdock without Foggy, so I don't know what this looks like now.
I want to say that in the actual Born Again comic, they like fake Foggy's death, right? In like a prison.
They might, but I don't. But this death ain't fake.
Yeah, no. No, he gone. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, the other thing is, like, we never would have thought that Disney would do this in the opening episode. I mean, a lot of people were very worried about this being like Disney-fied or whatever.
Yeah.
I this might be controversial, but from the 2 episodes we got, this is better than a Netflix show to me. Like, and I'm not saying like overall, like we've seen better story beats than the Netflix show had or something. I mean, but like just like the way it's shot and produced, I think it is. I like that Daredevil at this point in his evolution feels more like a superhero.
Yeah.
There were times in the Netflix show where it just felt like Matt in a suit, and maybe that's fine, and maybe that's what Daredevil should just feel like sometimes.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like he feels like a little bit more of a superhero in this, and I like that they went into that, but not way into it.
Yeah.
They didn't just make him Spider-Man with billy clubs.
Yes. Yeah. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that because Daredevil does have a little bit of Batmanism to him.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense where, like, you can read one Batman comic book and he's taking down Falcone and infiltrating the Penguin, or, you know, doing things on that scale, you know, dealing with guys like Two-Face or Scarecrow. And then, you know, you can pick up another Batman comic book and he's, you know, battling Amazo, or,
yeah,
you know, like Man Bat, you
playing
know.
chess with Darkseid.
Yeah, and winning.
Yeah,
you know, fighting humanoid blobs of clay. You know, like, and you know, he's just a multifaceted character. And Daredevil was kind of the same way. You know, some people consider Spider-Man to be like that link between a ground level hero and like superhero. I think it might actually be Daredevil, because Spider-Man he to me always leans more fantastical than Daredevil, but
right.
But I do also think it's cool that they are leaning a little bit into the more superheroic side of Daredevil versus a guy who's just a really well trained ninja with super senses.
Right.
It's a very fine line to walk, but they're doing it really good so far.
Yeah, I agree. I like seeing him using the gadgets a little more.
Yeah.
I don't want it to become like the basis of his fighting style and everything. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, there's just something about we just like to see Matt Murdock fight. Yeah. You know, just something about watching a blind guy whip everyone's ass. Right. It's very satisfying. So, like, the show can't lose that, and based on the second episode, I don't think it will.
No.
He fucked them cops all the way up. That shit was amazing.
Man.
And that fight, there was like no cuts, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great, like, you could have told me that was choreographed for the Netflix show. I mean, it was like...
You know, I think that's just some of the things they knew they absolutely had to nail.
Yeah.
And also, I think we should go ahead and say this. Like, I think it's actually great that it took 7 years to get this show. Because if they had fast-tracked it, and if we had gotten it right after No Way Home, look at the quality of the TV shows that were out then, you know?
So the homie Kay was watching this with me, and she's not a big Daredevil person. You know, they're kicking the shit out of Matt. She's watching this scene with me. They're kicking the shit out of Matt, and he's like, you guys really don't want to do this or whatever. And then, like, he just, like, breaks that dude's arm or whatever. And she's like, ah! And I was like, he told them that they didn't want to do this. And, like, you know, a couple seconds later, they're all, like, laying her on the floor, like, injured. Yeah. And she was like, what the fuck? I was like, he's a really good lawyer.
He's a really good lawyer. If they don't have a t-shirt of that already, they need to make one.
Right, yeah. He's a really good lawyer.
Oh, yeah. He fucked them all the way up, though.
Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. So let's bring it back to right after the Foggy Nelson death. He throws Dex off the roof, and I think...
I love the throw, also. He's just so... Because, like, he's not even thinking about Dex in that moment. He's mourning the loss of his friend.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lackadaisical, like, you know, like if you're tossing garbage into the dumpster
Yeah.
That's kind of what he did to Dex here.
Yeah, it's not like if you envision Batman killing the Joker, where Batman would just be like, "You're never gonna kill anybody again," and just toss this motherfucker into the abyss, which I'm sure he's thought about so many times. Yeah, but like it's just a very effortless, just like, "Get the fuck off my roof, dog!" Like, and the splat is crazy. And I think what makes this scene so intense too is when Dex hits, everything goes quiet, and we're just kind of there with Karen. And the way that this scene was shot, I thought was so fantastic, because where the camera angle is, you have Foggy laid out, and then you have Karen right behind him, and her arms and hands are just covered in his blood, where she's trying to stabilize him until the cops get, which I'm like, Bullseye can kill you with a fucking paper airplane.
Right.
This motherfucker had a sniper rifle. You're done.
Like
I don't know where like the perfect place to shoot a person is, but he does.
He does.
And he's going to hit there. So, and then you have Dex's body kind of like right behind her. And you have this moment where Karen realizes that he's gone. And then, you know, she goes to get up and she's just kind of in shock, and she sees the body, Dex's body there. And then she's immediately hit with, did Matt just kill this motherfucker? And so, like, she just gets all of this. And, like, the camera was very intimate with us just getting to see Deborah Ann Wall just really kill this scene.
Yeah, and she did.
Yeah.
Like, she really, in so many ways, was the audience surrogate.
Yeah.
You know? Because we were all kind of experiencing what she was.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just sheer surprise and terror and flabbergastedness.
Flabbergasticity.
Yeah, the flabbergasticity of it all. That shit was insane, though, just to see how it transitioned from a fun night out, and we would get to see the trio one last time, to this.
You know, it's interesting because season 3 ends with them writing the firm name on the napkin.
Oh, that's right.
You know, and so we got to see like the fruition of that,
Yeah.
and then it immediately gets ripped away.
Oh my gosh, you have to wonder when, because you know we know that there's a 1-year time jump. So are we to assume that they've been functioning for 5 or 6 years, and then the Bullseye incident happens?
It starts to get complicated, right? Because let's talk timeline. So what I have been reading was that on the official MCU timeline, which Kevin Feige has not given us yet. Well, I mean, they've given us parts of it, but it hasn't been updated with all the other details. This is supposed to take place like 4 months before Brave New World. Right?
Okay.
So to me, how does that factor in with the snap? Because, like, obviously we see Fisk post snap, well, and Matt actually. Although I think maybe we just aren't talking about that. Well, we see him in Echo. They're both in Echo.
Yeah, they're both in Echo.
They're both in Echo. Yeah. It which Marvel never told us in any of the marketing.
Yeah, they had no idea.
They never mentioned that at all. Yeah, but
that's sarcasm, folks.
Yeah, right. So I guess we are operating off the idea that like none of them got snapped.
I guess, right?
Because that's never really talked about. We know that Fisk getting shot in the face was post snapping. So right now in the MCU, Brave New World would be taking place in 2030. So this would be a couple years for that. So yeah, I mean it's got to be a while.
Yeah, it's got to be. Wow.
So,
yeah, it's probably one of those things where like until they sit somebody down and figure it out.
Yeah,
just leave it ambiguous.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, and we know that there's a 1-year time jump from Foggy's death to where our actual story arc really picks up for the season 1 of the show.
Yeah.
So there's two main pillars to this show. Obviously, we talked at length about one of them, but this is the point where we switch over to the other one in the show, and we get to see some Wilson Fisk.
Boy, Wilson, I want to say this. The first thing I noticed about Wilson Fisk is he has the saddest diet that I have ever seen. If I wake up, because like I do my workouts in the morning, so like I like to have a nice hearty breakfast when I come home from the gym. If my first meal of the day is the world's most pitiful egg white omelet and one stalk of asparagus, I'm fighting somebody.
Well, even when he was like in prison and shit, you always see him eating this terrible ass food. He never like complains about it or anything.
Yeah.
That's
why he's the way he is, because the motherfucker's never had a good meal.
Yeah. Somebody need to make this motherfucker some like old grandma mac and cheese.
Yes.
With some like properly cooked collards and like some steak.
And you know what? Maybe that's the problem. Vanessa, she only gives him one kind of mac and cheese, which is good for the soul, but not for the stomach.
I see.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting that mac and cheese.
No, he's not. He's not.
So our introduction to Fisk here was interesting, man, because we're kind of very quickly taking through a couple things where, number one, it's super evident that Vanessa has taken over the crime empire. Mm-hmm. And when Fisk walks in, like the whole place kind of scatters, and they kind of make it out like they're afraid of Fisk, but I think it's more just like them giving them the room, because I think at this point in time, man, I think Vanessa is the alpha of the whole operation.
Yeah, I think two things can be true. I think they realize we should probably give them their space, and I do not want to fuck with Fisk.
Yeah. Well, they probably all really like working for Vanessa because she's smart with it. Mm-hmm. Business seems to be good for everybody, and she's not also out here killing people with her bare hands that we know of.
That too. That we know of. We don't know how she kills people.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, because like she's got that feminine touch, she knows how to stroke men's egos, and we see her do that almost immediately.
Yes.
Whereas I'm sure Fisk never did any of that.
No. No.
Yeah, and with Fisk here, I'm going to put a pin in this. I had a thought really quickly.
Yeah.
There are like two what I consider surrogate characters in this show that I feel the show wanted to use other characters, but because they're dead, they had to swap them out for other characters.
Yeah.
Like with Cherry, I was racking my brain thinking, man, like he's got a lot of screen time in this, but I don't think he's a existing character. I think they wanted to use Ben Urich, but because Ben,
he did.
Yeah, he did. They're like, well, shit, he needs somebody else on the inside. And then I think his name is Buck, the guy who was like Fisk's right-hand man.
Yeah. That
clearly is like a Wesley.
Yeah. Yeah, like he even looks like him and everything, And the Fisk stuff is all very timely,
It's super timely.
I'm surprised I haven't seen people online kind of complaining about it. I think it's because it's so apt that maybe they aren't. Because this is definitely not like the first couple seasons of The Boys where it's like nuanced enough where like you just won't pick it up. Don't get me wrong. I think there are some people out there that are stupid enough or dense enough to not equate what happens in this show to be exactly what they fell for. Mm-hmm. But it is.
I think it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's right there in front of you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere to skirt around it. Like there's this criminal, known criminal. Okay, he hasn't been officially like prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law on like 98% of the shit that he's done.
Right. Yeah.
But now people want something different. They fall for his perceived charm or whatever, and he's able to turn it around. and he gets into a high position of power.
Yeah.
I never want to hear anyone say that's unrealistic.
No, never. No, that's like the whole how the fuck is Bucky gonna get elected to Congress thing. I'm like, how could he not? Yeah, and I mean, and I love that Fisk goes out and does. I mean, we'll just go ahead and say it. He does Trump shit. He like gets on the fucking news like, oh yeah, fill in this hole right here. Yeah, I said I was gonna fix the city. Look at me doing it. Here I am. And I'm like, motherfucker, they're doing work without a permit, and those permits need to be attained for various reasons. One of which is public safety.
What about the structural integrity of that bridge or that road you guys are working on? That needs to be inspected first.
Yeah, not to mention if there's any utility lines or
gas
anything
pipes.
like that. Yeah, any of that shit in there. No, fuck all that.
Yeah.
I just want my photo op.
Right.
And it's crazy how just right on the nose it all is. But it works so well for Fisk, partially because Vincent D'Onofrio is just him and Charlie Cox, every scene they're in, they kill it.
Man, what does it say about this show that in episode 1 we get Daredevil and Bullseye and Matt Murdock and Fisk scenes together?
Yeah. The scene where he just kind of shows up, like Matt just kind of shows up like, hey, can we talk? And then the two of them sit down in the diner. I thought this scene was incredible.
Same.
Like, all the dialogue between them, I was hanging on every word, because both of them, even Fisk was like, well, it's not entirely unpleasant to see you. Because Fisk, kind of one of the themes of these first couple episodes, and I'm sure this will continue, Fisk is lonely, man, even though he's constantly surrounded by all these like fanatics and shit. He doesn't actually really have anybody anymore.
No. And I mean, like you said earlier, his relationship with Vanessa is estranged at best.
Yeah.
So there's not really a lot going on there with Fisk. So let me ask you this. With what we've seen of him so far, what do you think his end game is here? Do you really think he's trying to be on the straight and narrow?
Hell no. No. I mean, and Matt even comments on that. He's like, if I didn't know him, I would believe him.
Yeah.
If I didn't know who he is. At the end of the day, right, I think him going after the vigilantes is a way for him to get people out of his way.
Yep.
Because he would have succeeded in taking over New York if it weren't for Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Hand would have. He would have just been a part of that.
Yeah.
I think he thought like, oh, I can fuck them over later. It'll be fine. It would have gone about like it goes in Invincible for some certain other characters, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Different show. But yeah, man, I think that's like where Fisk is headed right now. It's like, let me get these vigilantes out of my city, and then there just won't be anybody to stop me.
Yeah, and not to jump ahead to episode 2, but you wonder how much legwork, where the MCU is now, how much legwork would Fisk have to do to convince people that these mass vigilantes aren't necessary or wanted.
Right, because we have the Avengers, right? It's like they saved the planet from Thanos.
And it's like maybe there's like a bit of a cognitive dissonance there where people separate the Avengers from like, well, now a Spider-Man or a Daredevil or a White Tiger.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they're trying to say here is like, oh, well, the Avengers, that's a different thing. Mm-hmm. Like, but these are just some guys, that are just going around in a mask, in a costume, and just taking the law into their own hands.
Let's go to the, I guess it's some part of the trial of Bullseye.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the contraption they have him in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think Hannibal Lecter had more freedom of movement than he did.
Yeah, they got them arms locked, and I don't blame them.
No, absolutely not. Don't let him touch anything.
Yeah, no. No, if he picks up anything, that's a deadly weapon immediately.
Yeah. If I were the judge, I would want to be like behind like a glass casing. You know?
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
Shit goes awry.
And then I'd be wondering, damn, why's the blind lawyer moving like that?
He's killing it.
That guy's got some moves. But I really like this scene here too. Dex is such a psychopath.
He is, man. It's only gotten worse since he got his back broke.
Yeah, not everybody comes back like Batman, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, he's like way worse here. Mm-hmm. And I loved Matt's visual reaction when the sentence was read. Mm-hmm. He gets life without parole after Matt makes his speech or whatever. And I knew that he wasn't going to get the death penalty because they don't do that in New York. So that wouldn't have really made any sense. Mm-hmm. But with him getting that sentence, man, it just makes me think like, well, he's not going to get out on his own, but someone could always break him out.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to wonder if we've seen the end of Bullseye.
I don't think so.
Yeah, either.
But also, it's just one of those clever things where it's like, we keep him there until we need him again.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, he could be back later on this season, but I think that this season is going to be busy enough.
Yeah, I think they're going to pivot pretty hard.
Yeah. So right now we're at the White Tiger stuff, which is an incredible story. I can't wait to see how the MCU chooses to play this out. I'm really
loving it so far.
Yeah. It was a really good story, written by Bendis, actually.
Yeah. So I don't know if you actually saw in the credits, but Bendis is like a executive producer on the show.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I saw that in the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, well, that explains why this shit is good as fuck.
Yeah.
They got Bendis in the room.
Right.
Which, yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, do that. Fucking Frank Miller is not going to come, so.
Yeah. Frank Miller's like, fuck off.
Yeah, but Bendis will pick up the phone.
For sure. I guarantee you that there's nothing he could have done, but I guarantee you he pitched for some kind of Spider-Man cameo.
Yeah, did we talk about that previously?
I don't know if we talked about it on mic.
So, Daredevil showed up in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but as it turns out, Spider-Man is not going to be able to show up on any of the Disney Plus streaming shows because Sony, the rights deal that they have with Disney doesn't include any of that. It only includes movies, like the crossover movies with Spider-Man and MCU, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, there is no chance of Spider-Man showing up in this show, which is unfortunate as fuck because that would be amazing.
It would be so good, so fantastic. So, yeah, I guess we have to wait until, Secret Wars for them to cross path, or Spider-Man 4?
Yeah. So let me ask you, do you, they already crossed paths.
As superheroes.
Oh, okay. In the suits. That's it.
Yeah. Instead of like just a really good lawyer and a kid down on his luck.
Well, he is a really good lawyer.
He is a really good lawyer. And Peter is a kid down on his luck.
Way more now than he was then. I did like the nod that we got where it's like, yeah, we realize that he's out. Spider-Man has toned it down and he's just like, being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man now. He's just kind of being a street level person now and not like in the news and trying to do all this cosmic shit.
Yeah.
Let somebody else handle that.
Right.
But since we're here, man, down this rabbit hole already, do you think we're going to get wider MCU cameos outside of the Defenderverse here?
Ooh.
And if so, who? Who?
Thinking of ones that make sense, I do think that we get at least one wider MCU cameo. I will say this, depending on what route they go with like the White Tiger stuff, because White Tiger, he does have technically superpowers, like his amulet is, it bestows him like enhanced senses or like enhanced strength, durability.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. And again, I guess mild spoilers, but like in the comics, when he's on trial, they already know he's White Tiger in the comics, and so Matt Murdock brings up a couple of people to speak on his behalf, and one of them is Doctor Strange, the master of the mystic arts, to speak on the validity of the amulet and how it works and its function, and to kind of cross-examine the prosecution team to see, like, did you guys even look into any of this?
Yeah.
I mean, he also brings up Reed Richards, but they're not going to do that.
No, that'd be too soon.
Yeah, way too soon. And how did you get here?
Yeah. How did you get here?
But Strange would be fun.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of like other defenders. Like, I think there's a really good chance we see a Jessica Jones or a Luke Cage even.
I think there's no chance of us getting a Danny Rand.
I left him out pretty handedly. If anyone gets recast, it will be Finn Jones.
Yeah, I gotta be honest though. Like, I know that there is an arc in kind of the original Born Again where they do something where like Matt Murdock goes to jail for being Daredevil, and then Danny wears the Daredevil suit and goes out daredeviling to kind of try to prove that Matt's not him because they got him under lock and key, so he can't be Daredevil.
Right.
So something like that could be interesting, but assuming that they gave Finn Jones like time to learn how to fight.
It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a Brubaker story who wrote that one. It was good though.
Yeah.
It makes sense, somebody who can go out there and kick ass and be a convincing Daredevil.
Right.
Yep. Who do you think we get from the greater MCU?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because like obviously the New York heroes are the ones that would make the most sense. Mm-hmm. We can't have Spidey, obviously. He would make the most sense.
Yes.
But Doctor Strange is right up the street.
Literally.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously him, right? I'm trying to think of anybody else who's like New York based at this point. There's not a ton, right?
No. So, one that would kind of make sense considering the time frame that you just explained, Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah. Or, we could get Sam.
Yeah.
Although, if he shows up, man, he's just going to wreck the shit out of whoever.
Yeah. With that fucking suit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, he don't need no serum. That suit is awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. There's a couple different things that could show up. People show up. Shang-Chi is a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Although that would be crazy.
Right. I'd be wondering, like, what exactly are you doing in New York right now?
Yeah. Oh man, me and Wong just, we like the sandwich place down in the corner right here. There's nowhere else in the cosmos I can get a sub this good, so.
It probably is a greater chance that we see Wong than Doctor Strange, just because that seems to be how it goes for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I guess technically, he is the master of the mystic arts, or the Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU.
That's true. Hasn't Wong met Matt at this point? Because Wong was like all up in She-Hulk, right?
Jesus Christ.
Not like, I mean the show. I don't know.
Okay.
Isn't all the Wong and Madison shit, isn't that in She-Hulk?
That's in She-Hulk, yep.
Yeah, man. Him and Matt probably crossed paths.
Okay. When they probably crossed paths when he was all up in She-Hulk.
Oh my god. I also like how he gets Matt gets sent on the blind date or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. It's Matt Murdock. Like, he about to get it in. Yeah. Don't fuck around.
And it took him exactly 0 time.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about Karen. She's in a weird spot right now, where she hasn't spoken to Matt in essentially the better part of a year.
Yeah. Their scene together here was amazing.
Yeah. She's acting pretty distant. Now, a big part of like the born again story is Matt's identity gets outed, and it's from Karen.
Right.
And she goes through a real hard time, real bad time,
Real bad.
real bad time. And she actually gets hooked on heroin. Actually. So
Wow.
It's a real bad time, which is why she sells out Matt's identity, because she needs more of that good stuff, and she ain't got no money. Well, I got something.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. So we know that something's going on with her. I'm not going to say that she on heroin,
No.
but I don't know what it would take also for someone to sell out Matt Murdock, and also Fisk already knows.
They're doing a Blade tie-in. She's a vampire.
God damn.
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill.
See, I just took that full circle. See, because she's a vampire in True Blood. Yeah.
So guys, this is gonna be it for our
our Daredevil coverage. That's all, folks.
Yeah, that's it.
I know we said we were gonna do all the episodes, but
I think we're just gonna stop here.
it's just stop here. Oh shit.
Oh man.
So it's interesting. She mentions that she moved to San Francisco. I don't wonder what she's doing out there.
In the comic book, she's doing heroin. Out
Yeah,
there.
I know, but she's not. We assume that she's not doing heroin.
Yeah. Practicing law?
Maybe being a reporter. I don't know.
Yeah. Is she hanging out with Eddie Brock out there?
I mean, I guess maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, she's being very obtuse with everything she's saying.
It's interesting, right? Because she doesn't want to hash this shit out with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
She came back for the trial, and that's it, And like, it's interesting, right? Because that night everything changed for both of them.
Oh yeah.
Now, I didn't get her first name. McDuffie is the last name.
Kirsten?
Yeah, Kirsten.
Yeah.
Kirsten McDuffie. So they've opened Murdock and McDuffie law firm together. What did you think of her character here? Is she rooted in the comics?
I don't recognize her.
Okay, so she might be made for the show.
Could be. She's she's interesting right now. I don't really know what to make of her. She's got kind of a bubbly personality. She wanted some of that Foggy D.
Yeah.
She didn't get that though.
Nope. No, unfortunately not.
And she's trying to get Matt laid. So there's that. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to go off of right now, but she's fine. Like I don't mind her.
Yeah, agreed. I like the guy on Fisk's staff that's clearly like a fucking Elon fanboy type.
Oh yeah. The kid or whatever.
Yeah, he's just like, yo, you did a great job back there, mayoring, Mr. Fisk. And he's just like, yeah, thanks, kid, thanks.
Yeah.
I fucking know I did.
Right. Yeah, that shit was funny.
I'll be honest, man. I hope Fisk beats the shit out of that guy.
Oh, no.
That'd be amazing if he just beats that dude to death.
It's possible.
Speaking of him doing such a thing, what do you think about BB Ulrich, man?
Oh, yeah. This was, she was interesting. I like the whole thing that she's doing where, like, she's doing, like, this kind of journalistic slash documentary style news report thing. We get to see, like, clips of what she's doing throughout New York.
Yep.
And it seems pretty cool, and I don't think that she's cool with her uncle being dead.
No. Yeah, I just thought it was crazy, like, that she gets to interview Fisk, and they're sitting there in the room together, and we know that he killed her uncle with his bare fucking hands.
Right. Yeah. And what did he say? Oh, yeah, he was a good journalist.
Yeah.
It's like, this dirty motherfucker.
Yeah, this piece of shit right here.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that she suspects something? If she's as good as her uncle, then she probably knows that he was looking into the Fisk shit when he died.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see if something comes of that. Is she featured in the comics as well?
I don't think so.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you'd think that's something that they would want to do, you know?
Again, I think it's just kind of storyteller's remorse. Like, it was such a shocking moment and such a pivotal moment when Ben Urich dies, but now they're like, we kind of need a Ben Urich.
Just a bit. But it worked so well in the story.
It did.
You know?
It really did. Yeah. So Fisk, he like before he becomes mayor, you know, it's like they're weighing out his odds, you know, and seeing like what kind of chance he stands, and lo and behold, Matt, he's on like his second or third date with Christina. Is that her name?
Sure. I thought it was Heather.
Heather, that's it. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh shit. Wow. Yeah. That's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Today.
Heather. He's on like his second or third date with Heather, and they're hitting it off pretty well.
Yeah.
And then Matt hears the news. He literally hears the news.
Yeah.
That Fisk has been elected mayor of New York City.
And I love how they ended this episode, man, with, you know, Fisk standing out looking over the city and Matt on the street looking up. And the lighting with the red on the one half of his face. All of this just, I mean, it's hard to imagine a better opening episode than this to resurrect this show from the dead.
They knocked it out of the park.
And Marvel is super invested in it too, because they're already they're not filming it yet, but they're about to start filming season 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and D'Onofrio said that he had to have a cry over something that happens in his script in the second season.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I was just like, holy fuck. Yeah, so Marvel is all in on this show.
That's incredible. Yeah, there's a lot that can happen in this show. And the crazy thing is, man, we know that we're gonna get Muse, who is technically a more recent Daredevil villain, very fucking creepy. And the looks of him, they got him perfect in this show. We know that he's going to be in here.
Yeah.
We know that Frank Castle is going to be in this.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot more to go. We know that we get to see a fucking mausoleum of different Daredevil outfits.
Yeah.
Which is also cool as hell. So there's a lot that's going to go on here. But I will say this for episode 2. I didn't expect us to go right into the White Tiger stuff. But I'm not mad at it though.
No, I'm really interested in the story thus far. It's a compelling crime drama on top of the Fisk and Daredevil stuff, and it all just fits in perfectly, right? Where, you know, Fisk is going after the vigilantes. Right. So obviously this is the big first high profile case of that nature. So obviously Fisk is going to be on the side of the court. The prosecution here going after it, and lo and behold, Matt Murdock is the defender, you know, pun intended. And so, yeah, I mean, it obviously set the stage for our plot going forward. I think it's very reasonable to suspect that this war on vigilantism is going to cross paths with Frank Castle at some point. And Frank is not going to give not one fuck.
Yeah. As far as Frank goes, it's still up between him and Fisk.
Yeah.
It is still phase to be ran and smoke to be blown.
Yeah, because didn't he tell Fisk he was going to kill him if he saw him again or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, those two, they didn't get along too well.
No.
So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. And I'm super curious to see how that's going to all play out, you know?
Yeah.
What's Frank been up to, and how is he gonna get brought into this? Which, by the way, I don't know how true this is, but apparently he's getting like his own special for Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yeah,
a special, so like just like a TV movie type deal,
something like that. Yeah, so like a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday thing. Like a Werewolf by Night type thing.
Frank Castle holiday special.
Frank Castle holiday special.
That'd be amazing.
I'm here to punish all the people on the naughty list.
Yeah, the Frank Castle Easter special.
Oh my god. There won't be no resurrection this time.
Yeah. Oh my god. It turns out that in they're gonna do what was the Chris Evans movie?
The recent one?
Yeah.
Red One?
Yeah, Red 1. So like Red 2, like Frank Castle's the villain.
Oh no.
I don't know, man. I like J. Jonah Jameson over there as Santa Claus, but I don't know. I don't know if he can beat Frank Castle.
Right. Oh yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I wouldn't want none of that.
No.
Unfortunately, the actor who plays Hector Ayala, he actually passed away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he passed away just a couple months ago, real recent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately, he doesn't get to see like the final product. But based off of what we have so far of him, like he's doing a really good job, and it's excellent casting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see more of this storyline, man. This whole thing where he defended a citizen from these crooked cops off duty.
Yep.
And now basically they've tried to turn it into, he's a cop killer, blah, blah, blah.
Bruh, the way that one cop leapt into the arms of that train.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy.
Oh, shit. That was wild.
It really was.
So, we technically see White Tiger in episode 1.
Yeah.
He's on the TV.
He's like stopping the supermarket robbery or whatever.
Yeah. Which is ironic because like that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing in the comics. Like that's where the trouble with him goes down. He's stopping some like two wannabe thugs from robbing like a pawn shop, and then one of them kills a cop and they get away, and then he's just left with him. So it looks like he killed the cop. But that White Tiger outfit, that shit, I know it's supposed to look bad, but it looks bad.
Yeah, it does. It looks like the ninja outfit from the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah. It kind of does, right? With some stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that looks really not good.
You can't hire a tailor, motherfucker?
Right, yeah. Go find Melvin. That's who made all of Matt's shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Melvin's got to be down here somewhere.
Right. But I know what they're going for here, like just to show that more distinction between like a vigilante and like a superhero.
Yeah.
So I get that, and I think that's actually pretty cool what they're doing there.
And of course, if anybody was worried that Fisk was actually on the straight and narrow, we already got him fucking threatening the police commissioner's family and shit to get him to stay on the job.
He didn't threaten the commissioner's family. He just so happened to have a picture, all right,
from a restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, of the commissioner's child that looks to be from another person. Hidden kid. I mean, hey, listen, Fisk has proven that he can keep a secret. All right.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, I see, you're all about family, and so am I.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what'd you take from that?
I loved at the end where he's like, the sandwich was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, he went through all this trouble just to do this fucking bit.
Bruh, how fucking petty is that? And I love it. I love it. Yeah. But no, that was incredible, though, because, like, when we get the scene where Fisk goes to the funeral of the fallen cop, the one who must be buried in a goddamn healthy trash bag because he got hit by a train.
Right? Yeah.
Fisk is trying to put on like, you know, he's this good upstanding mayor, but the commissioner's not having any of it.
No, he knows exactly what this motherfucker's up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no telling how many cops that Fisk killed under his watch, you know.
And that's what he says.
Yeah.
And he just gives Fisk hell here. And I'm like, man, listen. He might want to take a page out of like Commissioner Gordon's book here, where you don't overplay your hand that much, dog.
Right, yeah.
Because Commissioner Gordon wouldn't sit there and entertain Fisk, but Gordon would be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then, you know, kind of walk the fuck away. But what this commissioner does, he just... And another thing, Fisk, you fat, ugly motherfucker. If I ever see you... like, he just goes off on him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you probably shouldn't do that, dog.
Yeah. You really shouldn't poke the bear here.
Yeah. Especially now that the bear has power.
Yeah, also, like, this motherfucker crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could just... The thing about D'Onofrio's performance as Fisk is it's just... He does such an incredible job of every moment that he's on screen. You can just sense the immense rage beneath the surface. Mm-hmm. He's always just one fucking pin drop away from just demolishing a motherfucker. Yeah. Like you can just see how hard he has to fight to restrain that within him.
And it's real hard.
Yeah. And it's constant, man.
Yeah. He's even going back to episode 1 when he was sitting down with Matt, like just his mannerisms. Like, you know, if you ever seen anyone do like this number with their hands sitting at a table, you know, they want to punch you.
Yeah.
They really want to punch you.
Yeah, because there's no telling how many times like Fisk is laid awake in a jail cell and just dreamed of beating Matt to death.
Right.
It's like he's right here in front of me.
Yeah, I could do it right now.
At least he thinks he could.
Yeah, right. I could attempt to do it right now.
I could attempt it right now. No, he's probably going to do some more of that blind ninja bullshit. But I'll get him this time.
I'll get him this time for sure. Where's Poindexter?
Yeah.
I can hire him again. You know, but the Fisk stuff, like, you can tell, like, I almost felt bad for Fisk, like when his handler or whatever was like giving him the itinerary for the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it really did.
None of that sounds fun. And he was like, can we just skip some of this?
Yeah. Like, no. You got to do all this shit, dog. You're the mayor.
All of it? Shit. But the real meat and potatoes of this episode, besides Fisk settling into his role as mayor and immediately blackmailing the police commissioner, the other meat and potatoes is the Hector Ayala stuff, the White Tiger stuff.
Right.
And yeah, so like you said earlier, he's going down in the subway and he sees these two guys beating the shit out of this other guy. He goes to intervene and he's stopping these two assailants. And in the process, one of them leaps at Hector. He moves out of the way, and he falls right into the arms of an angel. And by an angel,
a train named Angel.
Yeah. And then at that point, the other guy who was beating up the victim pulls out a gun and says that he's a police officer. And the guy who was getting beat up runs the fuck away. And so now Hector is labeled a cop killer, and he is in the belly of the beast, and he's got no one to defend him. Matt overhears this and offers his services.
Pro
bono. Which, I'll take that.
Right, yeah. He's a really good lawyer.
He is a really good lawyer.
He's lucky that Matt ever heard that shit.
Oh, yeah. Because otherwise he'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'd get a public defender who would encourage him to take a plea deal, and they would put his ass away for 30 years.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Then that'd be it.
Open and shut case.
And then you have to assume that he'd even make it to prison.
Right.
You know? Oh, man, yeah, he had an unfortunate stabbing accident in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt, he hears him out, and it's interesting because Matt can tell that he's being truthful, but Matt can also tell that Hector is holding something back, that Hector isn't telling the whole truth. And so he wants to do further investigation on that. And so he gets good old Cherry on the case. What do you think about Cherry?
I like him.
Yeah.
He was not in the original show though, right?
No, they gaslit the fuck out of us though.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, this guy was here the whole time. He's one of the Rick and Morty parasites or whatever. Fucking reverse giraffe.
Yeah. Come on, you don't remember me, guys?
Yeah. I've been your best friend for 30 years.
I'm Sleepy Cherry.
Yeah.
Oh man, we love Sleepy Cherry.
We love Sleepy Cherry. Yeah. Yeah, he's right over there. He lives next to Photography Raptor. Yeah. And Ghost in a Jar.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
It's clear that he's kind of like a stand-in for the sergeant, right? That was in all the Defender stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that guy, but it's basically like they're trying to make him out to be that guy. Maybe that dude wasn't available.
Yep. And again, like, it makes me think that that also, like, Ben Urich would be really good at this too. Not that he was a police, but he was a journalist and a reporter.
Right.
Who was really good at finding shit for Matt. But no, I like Cherry here though. He does good work. And at first, like, it was almost moving a little too fast for me, and I didn't really know if you could trust this guy. Yeah. But he seems to be on the straight and narrow.
I like that he has a very, like, logical kind of point of view, you know. Especially, like, you know Matt, he can get head over heels into the, like, being the good guy. Like, he does some very Mike Ross-esque shit here if you're a fan of Suits. Because in that show, Mike does this same shit, right? He hears the defendant's story, and then he's like, "Oh, we got to protect this guy," blah blah blah, you know, and can easily get distracted from, like, the facts. And there's a moment here where, you know, Cherry kind of has to tell him, like, so okay, you told me you want to look into him because his story doesn't add up. All right, well, which is it? Is he innocent or his story doesn't add up? And Matt's like, well, I mean, I think it's both, you know. Right. And it turns out, you know, what he was hiding was that he was White Tiger. Yep. And that was a very cool twist.
It was.
With the twist.
And Matt brings up a very good point to Hector when he goes back to talk to him. Hey, man, so we found something. Yeah. In your house.
You didn't think to mention to me that you're White Tiger?
Oh, you know, I didn't tell you that?
Yeah, you know, it slipped my mind. You know. Man, I got a lot going on. I've been busy.
Matt was like, bro, you just hid it underneath your bed. Yeah.
He's like, man, you know, sometimes you just, like, get caught up in, like, saving a motherfucker and, like, get balls deep in, like, some victim snatch that you saved or whatever. And then, you know, you got to get up and go to work the next morning. And you just kind of forget, man. And Matt's like, yeah, man, I hate when that happens. I mean, what?
Yeah. But Matt was like, hey, man, look, it took us like 13 and a half seconds to find your super suit. So the cops are definitely going to find it.
Yeah. I actually really like the scene where he got the evidence thrown out.
Yeah.
That was, like, really clever because otherwise it makes no sense, right? Because they would just go in there and be like, oh, this guy's been hiding that he's a vigilante. What else is he hiding? Blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, it'd have been very hard for them to like, convince the jury after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd be done. So they do go for, like, the bail hearing to see, you know, if he'd be able to post bail. No.
Yeah, the judge was an asshole.
Right. So, yeah, better luck next time. But the one missing piece that they really need is the guy who was getting beat up by the two crooked cops. Yeah. And luckily, with Cherry's help, Matt is able to find the lead on the guy. And this takes us to the finale here of the episode. Matt does go and he finds the guy. Says, hey, look, man, I'm a really good lawyer. Let me in. And you got about 20 seconds before those crooked cops come in here after you. And the guy's not really listening. You can't blame him, though. Like, this blind lawyer comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, just shows up at his house like, hey, man, motherfucker, listen to me.
Yeah. and he tells you to go out through your fire escape. And then the guy doesn't listen until like there's a knock at the door.
Yeah.
You know, and so so the guy, he does escape throughout the window, and Matt tells him to meet Cherry at a certain spot. He's got someone there who's going to help him out. And so hopefully the guy made it to Cherry.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We gonna see.
We gonna see. What we also gonna see is these two cops proceed to get the shit beat out of them because they come into the guy's apartment and they just see Matt Murdock standing there smugly.
Yeah.
And they're like, what happened to so-and-so? And Matt just says that he's not here. And they know that Matt's being coy.
Right.
And so they rough him up. Matt's a tough guy. He takes it. But it's when they say, well, we got to get rid of the guy, and they pull a gun. That's when Matt's like, you don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, man, listen, I'll let y'all kick on me for a little bit because I'm just a swell guy. But you don't want to do this shit. And
apparently they think they want to do the shit. Matt proves to them that they don't.
This was a great scene. It is as quick as it was, man. He fucking annihilated these guys.
He fucked them up.
All the way up.
And then after he fucked them up, he kind of realizes the gravity of the situation. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. That one guy, man, that landed on his like neck or whatever, I don't think he's getting up.
Right. So, it's supposed to be like, in the comic books, because of his senses, Matt has like a real keen sense of the human body and how things work because he can just pinpoint like arteries, obviously heartbeats, organs moving, bones shifting. And so he knows like the right amount of pressure to apply and the right place to hit to get the desired results. Sometimes I don't think he cares about that.
Yeah. And this might have been one of those times.
Yeah. This and, when he threw Dexter off the building.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't even thinking about that shit at all. He was like, you got superpowers. You might survive.
Oh, man. And so now that's where they leave us with episode 2. We got 7 more episodes. And there's a lot more to go here. What do you think the long game is for this season?
It's so hard to speculate, right? Because they turned the show on its head immediately, from what we thought we were going to get. I'll be honest, man. Obviously, we're going to see more of like Fisk's war on the vigilantes. Obviously, that's going to involve them going after Frank at some point. I don't know. It seems if they're planning to do 3, 4, 5 more seasons or whatever, it seems strange that they would out Matt as Daredevil in this season. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but like they're going to have to explain those cops somehow. I guess he could just leave them there and be like, "Oh man, we found these cops in this house." I don't know. What are they going to tell people? The blind lawyer beat the shit out of them.
The problem is we know who would believe that.
Oh, yeah. Fisk will believe it.
Yeah.
For sure. So I don't know, man. I don't know if, like, maybe Fisk hears about it and, like, starts, like, going after Matt. I know at some point, obviously, the whole crux of any of this is going to be that Fisk and Murdock are on a collision course with each other. Whether ideologically or physically or probably both.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see what happens. I hope we get a lot more Karen. I think if Frank shows up, then she has to show back up,
right?
For sure. But I think we get. I hope we get some more Karen. I hope Cherry gets some more time. I really like him as a character.
Does that mean he's doomed to die?
Maybe not this season.
Yeah,
but probably eventually. Yeah.
I'm curious about when we get Muse introduced.
Yeah.
Because Matt's going to need like another physical threat in this show.
Right.
And they're going to have to be careful how they pace that out. because, like you said earlier, we probably don't get any more Bullseye this season. That was like a loose end they really needed to do something with.
Yeah.
And boy, they found something.
And there's 9 or 10 episodes?
9.
9.
Yep.
Okay.
And Muse would be interesting. He doesn't view murder as murder. He just views it as art. So he'll kill people and he'll decorate the bodies and string them up and strew them around and do things that in his mind is super artistic. Yeah, he's a real fucked up guy.
Yeah, so this is going to end right before Thunderbolts Asterisk.
Yep. So. Yeah, it will. Man, what timing.
Yeah. When I played the second episode, I actually got the trailer for Andor Season 2 on all D+, so that was interesting.
Yeah, also, Disney Plus, fuck you and your commercials. I know I said that before. I'm saying it again. I can't stand your goddamn commercials.
Have you watched any of that yet? Have you started your watch through?
I have not. Hopefully I can start tomorrow, though.
Yeah. So. I'm on episode 3 of mine. Or no, 4. 4. So the crazy shit that I thought happens in episode 3 actually happens in episode 6. There's actually a lot of build to it. So that's why I was like, man, if that happens in 3, man, we might have to do 4 episodes. Mm-hmm. But no, I think we can do half.
How many episodes is in season 1?
12.
Okay.
So I think we can do 6 and 6.
Gotcha.
Because what happens in episode 6 is a huge thing. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I guess we should score these episodes.
Yeah.
Shit, man. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter. You can go first.
All right. Since we're doing each individual episode, we'll score each episode separately, and then at the very end, when we do the finale, when we do the damn thing, we'll score the season. So far, I'm gonna give episode 1. I've never done this. I'm giving episode 1 a 10.
Oh, wow. You heard it, folks.
Yep. I've been on this podcast for years, and I've never given a 10 to anything.
Wow.
So I'm going to give episode 1 a 10. Episode 2, I'm going to let that settle in. I'm thinking an 8.5. Very good. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Moves the story along. It pales in comparison to episode 1, but it didn't have to, we couldn't stay bombastic the whole time. It's laying the groundwork, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So.
Yeah, we're actually very close. I give episode 1 a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is the way you do it, man.
Yeah.
I love a show like this, and you come right out the gate hot.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had everything that you could want from a reboot of a beloved series like this. You get the trio hanging out again of Matt, Karen, and Foggy, and them just genuinely having a great time and hanging out and enjoying each other's company. And then you get hit with the emotional gut punch of Foggy's death, and then the action scene of Bullseye and Daredevil at the very beginning of the season. And, you go from there to the stuff with Fisk, and he's running for mayor, and he fucking wins. And, just that entire first episode was, it was tremendous, I thought.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it really laid the groundwork. And so, I really dug that. Episode 2, I'm going to give that an 8.3. I really enjoyed episode 3. And like you said, it kind of has to be a little bit of a come down, and has to take its time to explain to us what's going on, where we're going, and introduce to us some new characters as well. And by doing so, just by the nature of storytelling, they can't all be 9s or higher.
Right. No.
But what it does really well. I think that it is really well paced. I think if you're looking for the super high octane action in every episode, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Because this is storytelling, so you gotta let them cook.
Let them cook. Let Bendis cook, Ace.
Let Bendis cook. And I'm really looking forward to the stuff with the White Tiger. It's I mean, obviously, like when I think about like the comic books, no one likes to read Batman for Bruce Wayne doing work at Wayne Industries, right? And typically, no one wants to read Daredevil book to read about him in court lawyering.
I do.
However, this is one of those rare exceptions where like the White Tiger story is just a really tremendous story, and I love the way that it played out, and I think that Marvel's going to knock this story out of the park. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play this out, and it just works perfectly with the Mayor Fist stuff that they're doing. So really hyped for it, man. And yeah, I think that we can get some good stuff to come.
I think, honestly, I think that part of the reason they're doing the courtroom drama stuff and they're spending so much time with it, I think a lot of it has to do with suits. I think it being like that huge phenomenon.
Yeah.
The way that Matt approaches this case is, like I said, he's very Mike Ross. So it's interesting, man. And episode 1, just for it to be a reboot and them to just kind of say, you know, welcome back. This is the show you know and love, and then fuck what you know, all in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it was a brave choice, and I think it paid off for them. And I think the fact that the amount of yardage that they got in that first episode without it feeling rushed was insane, right? Because we went from where we were basically at the end of episode 3 of the Netflix series, you know, them writing, Nelson Page Murdock on the napkin. Was that it? Nelson Page Murdock?
Yeah, right. No, Nelson Murdock Page, I think.
Yeah, whatever. From them writing the name of the firm on the napkin to us seeing that come to fruition in the beginning. Crazy ass bullseye fight. Foggy Nelson's death. The fallout from that. Matt hung up the suit. Fisk recovering from, we didn't even talk about this, from getting shot in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Because at first I was like, he was gone. Where was he at? And then I remembered, he was recovering from being shot in the face. All of that stuff. Fisk's return, us seeing where the criminal empire is, him launching his campaign for New York, and then him becoming the mayor. That, like, if I just told you, like, on paper, like, yeah, we're going to do that in the first episode, you'd be like, what the fuck? There's no way you're going to do that in the first episode.
Right.
But they did it, and it never feels rushed.
Right.
So, I thought it was masterful.
Me too, man. It was just incredible what they did. I thought of somebody else who they could bring in, Hawkeye.
That would make all the sense.
Right. So, yeah.
Well, or Kate, or both of them.
Yeah.
Let them both show up.
Let them both show up, for sure.
Kate's got to be like 35 now or whatever. But
Young Avengers.
Yeah. You got anything else on Daredevil? There was one thing I wanted to talk about, but it's not necessarily Daredevil related.
It's dope as fuck, boy.
It is dope as fuck, boy. We're back.
Yeah, what?
We're back. Somebody get Mike Coulter on the phone in the payroll, please. And Kristen Ritter.
They might be in it.
Yeah, they may be.
Yeah.
Shit. They kept the Foggy death completely under wraps. So
that is one more thing, just really quick, that we can talk about, and that is we still haven't really seen exactly how Matt functions as Daredevil without Foggy to kind of reel him in. How do you think that goes?
Not good. Not good. Like, without him or Karen,
yeah,
I think he's just going to get so obsessed with this White Tiger case. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to cross the line again.
What do you think is going to bring him to put the suit back on?
I think he's going to fail to stop Fisk as Matt Murdock and decide that the only way to do it is as the devil.
Ooh. Yeah.
If y'all quote that shit, I swear to God, Bendis. And unless you get away with Jewish Peter Parker, I never took that from you. I need to check.
You're not going to take Jewish Peter Parker from Brian Michael Bendis.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna take the broken horn and like put it on the new suit or whatever? You think that'll be a thing? Did you also notice that when the helmet was falling, it had the D where the horn was broken off?
I did notice that. No,
you did not? So yeah, they do that slow shot because he tosses the helmet off. And they do that slow shot where the helmet is doing this number right here, and where the horn is broken off, it's a perfect D.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's if cool. You go back and watch it, like I was just like, motherfucker. Yeah.
I don't know what he does with that horn fragment.
It comes back up, I would imagine.
Yeah, it has to, right? But I don't know what he does with it. Maybe he just. I assume it's going to be something that like he maybe just keeps in like his suit pocket, maybe forgets about it, and then in a moment of frustration, he feels that horn.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's time.
Yeah,
it's fucking time." Okay, yeah. So I just answered my own next question. I was gonna say, how upset would you be if they killed Frank Castle? But I don't think they will if he's supposed to get his own special.
No. I think the major deaths are probably done with for right now. I do think that it's a complete possibility that Vanessa's gonna die.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. That's my thoughts. That's who I think has the next bullseye on them, no pun intended.
Because
I don't think they could do away with Karen.
No. You can't kill both Foggy and Karen.
Yeah, no. Nope.
Sheesh. I'm still just in shock that they killed Foggy.
Yeah.
I guess again, in all my years of reading Daredevil, like I've never seen a Foggy-less Matt, and I think there's a reason for that. He needs Foggy.
Something that Charlie Cox said was that Foggy Nelson is like he's the heart of the whole thing, the whole like Netflix verse, you know. And he's absolutely right, you know.
Yeah.
So you take that away, man. There's like it has insane repercussions across everything. So,
one other cameo, really quick, who I think we could probably get. What about Rosario Dawson?
I would love that.
Yeah.
It would be a weird thing for Disney to just really, ram their IPs into each other like that. Oh, you mean she might show up as like night nurse?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going
okay,
for.
I see.
I don't think that Ahsoka showing up to help fight Kingpin is really. They would have to explain that movie some.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird. I would be up for it. Don't get me wrong. I would be like, this is awesome. I don't know who they're gonna fight.
Yeah. This is kind of bizarre. Like, I feel like maybe you should have been here for the Thanos stuff.
Yeah, maybe like the Infinity War stuff. Yeah. You would have been really helpful there, I think. But I think maybe this might be overkill.
Yeah, I don't.
Frank Castle will figure out a way.
But there's a will, there's a way for old Frank.
Yeah. So before we go, to kind of draw a line here, because this might be some bullshit if that you guys probably don't want to hear. So that's why I wanted to put it at the end. Have you seen any of the leaked Russo brothers stuff? Concept art and all that?
I have. I didn't know what to make of it, though.
Yeah.
Like in terms of is this legit or is it?
A lot of, some of it seems like it's possibly legit. It's heavily rumored, like kind of how we're going to see everything play out. Like, that possibly, this version of Victor has already been to like the future. Like maybe they're going to incorporate some Kang stuff that like he is from their time, went to the distant future, saw certain things, got some of the technology, and then he comes back into and comes to 616 for some reason.
Adamantium?
Maybe. That would be a good reason.
Yeah. Unless Unless like every Earth in every universe has a fucking aborted celestial baby.
Yeah.
Which that would be weird.
Yeah, well, we know that in quite a few of them, the Earth has gets destroyed. You know, by the whole thing. So that would be an interesting take.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely like one resource that the 616 Earth has that the other ones don't, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that concept art was interesting because there was, Wakanda in there.
Yeah. A recast T'Challa, which I think we will get anyway.
Yeah. I didn't want you guys to find out like this, but
Aldous Hodge.
He will also be in the movie alongside myself, and so.
And who are you playing?
I'm really not supposed to say,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just figured it was like, Wakandan F.
It's like a code name until like the actual movie comes out to kind of hide that I'm playing, the new T'Challa.
That's weird. I think
it's weird that they got Aldous Hodge in it because I'm guessing that. I don't know who exactly he's gonna be yet.
Aqualad.
Yeah, he could be Aqualad, even though that's again that's IPs crossing over.
If you're gonna be T'Challa, they might as well. What did you think about the implication that there's going to be like a heavy Franklin Richards kind of involvement? Because that would make sense for Secret Wars to me.
It would make sense. I think that it can be a bit much.
Yeah.
If they don't know how and where to reel it in.
Like if the implication is that First Steps refers to him.
Yeah.
Like you're going to introduce the family and possibly Victor and then Franklin Richards.
Right.
In 2 hours.
Yeah. And there are certain times when certain characters need to be kind of power scaled a little bit.
And he's one of them. Yeah, absolutely. Although, if somebody's going to fight the fucking Sentry...
That is true.
Then we probably need him.
Yeah, but it's too late. Because Thunderbolt comes out first.
Oh, well, he could kill all of them.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I have interesting thoughts about Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Apparently it tested well, from what I heard.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Everything the MCU's got coming out on the horizon, man, actually seems like it's going to be on the up and up. It's like we've been saying for years, though. Everything right now rests on Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. He doesn't... obviously we want them to kill it with Daredevil, and they are, right? But, like...
They killed Foggy with Daredevil.
Yeah, they did. But, like, Daredevil could stay awesome, and then they could keep fucking up the movies. Obviously, we said this a while back. Like, Thunderbolts and Brave New World just need to be good. Yep. They don't have to be great. They don't have to be exceptional. They don't have to be, like, out of this world. They just have to be like, I didn't waste my time seeing this. I enjoyed it.
Right.
And, yeah, man. But Fantastic Four has to kill it.
It has to, because it's ushering us into, like, the next big thing.
Yeah. And, as we all know, like, with Secret Wars, they're probably going to do a soft reboot. I imagine that's going to end the multiverse. They're going to do they're going to combine everything into one.
Yep, exactly.
One universe. Because, I'll be honest, I think casual audiences are already tired of that shit.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, I've always viewed, Secret Wars the same way that I view, like, Flashpoint. It's like, this is your one get out of jail free card.
Yeah,
This is like, because it's a good story that makes sense. And you can use it to reset the other shit.
Well, at least with this, and I will give Marvel credit that the execution isn't great, but at least when they set out to do Secret Wars, they were like, we're gonna do a multiverse thing, and then Secret Wars will end it. Like they planned, like, all right, let's do the multiverse shit, and then to put that back in the bottle, we got Secret Wars. So at least it wasn't like, oh, we wrote ourselves into a corner. Secret Wars, Although they planned it and then wrote themselves into a corner. It's all Jonathan Major's fault. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's all his fault. That's how they're gonna explain it. That's the corporate line. Well, if it just hadn't been for Jonathan Majors,
it's all his fault, of course.
But yeah, I think after Secret Wars, right? Like obviously that's got to be we in the multiverse. Everything's one universe, so it's like a soft reboot. So you can keep certain elements that people really love. You can get rid of elements that people don't like. You can change things. But after that, man, as we've said, like going into phase 7, 8, 9, whatever, they got to be very careful, man, because when it comes to established franchises, the number 7, 8, 9 aren't really associated with success or love of the audience. But obviously the basis for the MCU is going to be Fantastic Four and the X-Men. You can't fuck either one of those up in the meantime.
Yes. Yeah. 1,000%. Yes. Really quick, I think we spoke about this briefly before, but I want to get your thoughts again. I recently did a short video where I talked about who my starting 7 would be for the MCU X-Men.
Yeah, I saw you did that shit without me, and I was like, "How dare this motherfucker!"
I wanted to get yours.
Oh, did you? Were you interested in knowing mine?
I'm starting to feel some resentment. I'm not sure where that's coming from right now. Or am I just mistaken?
No. No, I think you're picking it up. Yeah, I think you're picking up what I'm laying down. I saw that shit pop up, and I was like, when did we do this? And I was like, oh, we didn't. Yeah, man, I think if you wanted to know my 7, then you could have just, picked up the phone. Yeah, but I was out of town. So, that it's kind of okay, because I wasn't here. I was busy.
Yeah, I just,
You was just sitting around and you was like, you know what?
Yeah.
But my 7. So who did you pick?
I had Beast because we've seen him.
The Business.
Yep. I had...
Oh, and because he's the greatest, but go ahead.
I had Rogue, Gambit, Storm, Kitty Pryde, Emma, and Cyclops.
Are we counting Xavier?
He's already... We'll say that he's already in it. He doesn't count as part of the 7.
So you get Xavier, for free?
Yep.
Okay. And I just got to pick out the 7. All right. Homelander?
Damn it. Lamplighter?
A-Train?
The Deep?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Well,
No, I don't want the Deep.
Black Noir then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Black Noir. Queen Maeve.
Yep.
Starlight.
Okay, all right.
And T-Pain.
Oh. The translucent standing there like...
No. Okay. So for all seriousness, so I'm gonna go Storm, Rogue, Gambit, unless it's Channing Tatum, in which case no. So I think the 3 of them, I'm gonna go Beast because he's my favorite,
and he was also in the Marvels,
right? And so yeah, so that's 4. I have to sit and think, like, obviously you can't have Scott and no Jean or vice versa. So if you're going to get Scott, you got to have Jean. If you're going to get Jean, you got to have Scott.
I think you can do Emma instead of Jean.
You can. so it's kind of tough, right? Because it's like, I want to see a dope Cyclops, but the second that they put Jean in there, it just goes ahead and implies that at some point we are going to run a Dark Phoenix arc.
This is why she's not on my list.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I'm just like, I gotta circle back to this. So, all right. So before I get ADHD down that rabbit hole, Beast, Gambit, Rogue, Storm. So I got two more. Yeah, Beast, Rogue, Gambit, Storm. I got three more.
Yeah, we got three more.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Morph.
Oh, okay.
Just because I really want to piss off the right wingers. I'm gonna go Scott.
All right.
The last one's always so tough. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Jubilee.
Oh.
I think Jubes needs her time in the sun.
You know, she does, and I debated about swapping out Kitty for Jubilee.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to just feel like I'm doing X-Men 97.
Right, yeah.
Because I'm like, okay. But I do agree, Jubilee does need her time. But in terms of like live action presence, I don't think we'll ever get to a point where they have both of them, you know.
Kitty and Jubes?
Yeah. Just because in terms of like what they represent, they're so similar, you know. And Wolverine can't be a big brother to both of them at the same time.
No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, obviously, like going with the 97 lineup would be easy to do. And I wouldn't blame them if they just went with that because it's a proven commodity, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't add that I met Matt Watterson over the weekend.
That's right.
Who voices Magneto. I actually also I didn't get anything from him, but I also got to speak with Cal Dodd, who is Wolverine.
Oh, hell
it has been Wolverine.
Yeah,
forever.
since day one.
Have you ever seen the clip where he talks about the audition or whatever?
Yeah, it talks about that ridiculous line.
Yeah,
that he had, which is crazy, right? Because when I think about Wolverine from like the original animated series, I always think about that line, like "you stupid piece of gutter trash," gutter. And I didn't know like that was apparently like one of the first lines he had to say.
Yeah. He also had one where he was like, it was like, you like picking on people who are littler than you. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm smaller than you. Pick on me or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently like he just dropped a couple lines and they were like, no, that's a wrap. You got the job, whatever. Because like he didn't know anything about the character at all.
Yeah, because like he was like Wolverine, Sabretooth. Are we animals?
Is this like an animal show or whatever? And they're like, no, like this is the guy right here. And he's like, oh okay, all right, And he did a great job. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. But he did, the guy that does Xavier, who he's also Immortal.
Ross Marquardt?
Yeah, Ross Marquardt, and he was also Red Skull in Infinity War Endgame. He was there as well. But Matt Watterson, I did get the scoop from him that he did say that the reason that season 2 has actually got delayed to 26, even though they had most everything written, is they actually didn't get all of the stuff into the animation team on time. And Disney or Marvel, whoever, like apparently they got like a group of animators. And they're like, this is our schedule, motherfuckers. So, like, if you need a show made, like, you got to get on it. And they did not get their shit turned in time. So, like, it's actually they're waiting on the animation for next year. But he did say that he was in the booth within the last week recording season 3. So, they're hoping that they can get season 2 out in 26 and season 3 out in 27. So, yeah.
Man.
So that is straight from the cast, folks.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm out here getting the info that you guys really want to know.
That's right. He's out here getting the scoop.
That's right, at the ground level.
That's right.
Shit, what was I going to ask you? I was like, man, we got to come back to this, but I think it completely slipped my mind.
Well, we were talking about your starting 7.
We were.
Who, again, were Beast, Rogue, Gambit, Storm, Jubilee, Morph, Cyclops. And
yeah,
that's it.
That's the 7, yeah.
7, yep.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh man, what do you think about this?" And then I had to put a big ass pin in that, and yeah, man. Now I don't know. I'm lost.
It happens. There's this cool magic trick where, like, when I press the record button to turn it off, it'll come back to you.
Yeah, as soon as like you do that, I'm like, I wanted to talk about this on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. I think with X-Men, I think it's very interesting to see where they go with it and kind of how they're gonna build, Phase 7, and I just hope they have the courage to not put Wolverine in that movie.
That is something really quick that we could talk about, and that is Wolverine is my favorite X-Man, but like I see not putting him in the movie as just a way of making even more money, because the X-Men name alone, I think, will make Disney $1 billion easy.
Yep.
And Wolverine alone will make you $1 billion.
Yep.
And then you can bring them together and make even more billions of dollars.
Yeah, bajillion.
Yeah. and also, like, I was when I was putting my list together, like, I was thinking about, like, I would love to get like an actual better representation of Storm, because she kind of got railroaded in all the previous movies.
And in What If?
Oh God! And in What If?
You motherfuckers!
You're right. Had the audacity to showcase her in the trailer, knowing we didn't get that much Storm.
Yeah.
But it was the same way with like Beast and like so many other characters on my list. And with Rogue, they kind of just combined her with Jubilee and or Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is fine, but it would be nice if she could be Rogue that we kind of recognize from like 97 or from the comics,
Right.
Gambit, because we've never had Gambit in like an actual X-Men proper movie. We got Taylor Kitsch, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And he was fine, but yeah, so like they got options, but I don't know, man. Whatever starting team they decide to go with, they better not fuck that up. And I don't think they'll put Wolverine in it.
No, they gotta cast the shit out of that. And I'll be honest, man, I think they're gonna keep Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for a bit. I think at the end of Secret Wars, he's still going to be Wolverine.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, unless they just cast, like, this incredible character. But, I mean, the rumor is that they got him signed off for at least 3 more films.
That's what I heard.
Now, I mean, maybe that's Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then, what the fuck, Deadpool 7 or whatever.
Yeah. Which that could be the case.
Deadpool 11-5, X-Force 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. X-Force 2 Electric Boogaloo is actually a pretty good name for a movie. I'd go watch that. I don't even need to see the trailer.
Yeah. One ticket for X-Force 2 Electric Boogaloo, please.
Yeah. It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we reached the point of critical mass where we're just bullshitting now.
Yeah, we're just bullshitting now, yeah.
Well, you have anything else before we wrap up?
No, man. I told you guys that when you saw us next, we were either going to be really happy or really sad, and we're really happy.
We are. I'm really sad about Foggy.
Yeah, we're both actually. I think it's an incredible, like, bold direction they took the show in. I'm really happy about that. I I gave my first 10, guys. I'm excited to see where things go. Really happy about it. I'm so excited about the slate that we got coming up. We got Daredevil, we got Andor, we got fucking Invincible, we got Thunderbolts, Asterisk coming up. The Last of Us. We're going to talk about The Last of Us. So we have a ton of content coming out. We fucking made you some content, as my good buddy Bo Burnham says.
And we got some more throwbacks coming your way.
Yeah, we'll do that eventually too. The throwback. It would be great because I'm pretty sure our next throwback is Ninja Turtles. And it would have been very interesting to go ahead and get that out to coincide with the Daredevil release.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That took me a while to put together. Yeah, that's true.
You'd be surprised how many people don't know about that at all.
That is one giant fucking parody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit is hilarious. But that's going to be it for now, homies. We will see you guys again very soon, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Daredevil Born Again as much as we have so far. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.